A very warm evening to respected director, deans, professors, and to everyone else present here. I'm Sai Karthik, JSPF finalist 2018-19 and a pre-final year student, here to host the Jitheshraj Scholarship for Promising Freshmen, also known as JSPF's third annual Felicitation Ceremony, alongside my co-host Akshaya and Anaga. 2020 has been a year that brought around change. We at JSPF feel pleased to honor the 8 finalists of this year's application cycle, who showed the promise towards bringing about change in our society for the good. In today's agenda, we have Akshaya, who will be delivering the welcome address, followed by a keynote speech from Dr. Anantharaman, retired professor HAG at the Department of Chemical Engineering, followed by talks about the scholarship from Anaka and myself, before the scholar speaks speech by Nithin Balaaji. We also have a talk about the DNI, that is the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, by Siddhant Chandra, followed by the most awaited felicitation ceremony. The event shall wrap up with the launch of the 2021 cycle of the scholarship and the next steps towards the same. Before we start the welcome address, we have a couple of announcements. One, you can drop your questions in the live chat stream, and we will be answering those in the chat. A few questions shall be picked. Almost like all of the questions shall be picked and shall also be documented and released on our social handles. Secondly, we will be talking more about the application requirements and the process in detail at our first step event, which will happen on January 3rd, 2021. You can get information about this and other upcoming events by registering in the Getting Started link. The link to the Getting Started link is present in the description. Without further ado, let us welcome Akshaya, JSPF finalist 2018-19, who shall be delivering the welcome speech. Over to you, Akshaya.
Thank you, Sai Karthik. Good evening, everyone. I'm Akshaya, a pre-final year student from the Department of Instrumentation and Control Engineering, and I take immense pleasure in welcoming you all to the third felicitation ceremony of the Jitheshraj Scholarship for Promising Freshmen 2019-2020 cycle and the launch of the 2020-2021 application cycle. I also take this moment to congratulate the batch of 2024 for having made it to NIT Trichy, one of the top engineering colleges in the country. After 2 years of grueling effort, days clouded with uncertainty, with little time for yourself, now comes an opportunity for you to introspect, explore, and grow. Now is the time for you to sit back, reflect on your strengths, weaknesses, and analyze how you can capitalize on them to make the most out of your 4 years in college to lay a promising basis for your growth, both as a professional and a responsible member of the society. In many ways, the Jitheshraj Scholarship for Promising Freshmen is a tailor-made SWOT analysis test with insightful mentorship sessions and exciting in-house events spread throughout the year. From its inception in 2017, the Jitheshraj Scholarship for Promising Freshmen has grown by leaps and bounds under the helm of Ms. Shivaranjani Subramanian, founder and executive director of JSPF. With a 23-member strong finalists community on campus and distinguished alumni from all over the world as mentors and panelists, the scholarship is one of the most holistic ones you would find yourself applying to. And what's more, it's not just about what your inherent strengths are. The core idea of the scholarship is to gauge your personality based on what you can bring to the table when given the right resources. Consistent with our ideology, we have 4 mentorship sessions and various other events supplemented by articles for monthly reading. This way, the entire application process leading up to the scholarship has something for everyone. Every year, finalists also receive constructive feedback on their interview and essays, which could be of immense help in other global scholarship applications. From my perspective, as a finalist from the 2018-19 application cycle, this scholarship application process and the on-foot activities on campus have been instrumental in discovering facets in my personality which I otherwise wouldn't have known. In this regard, I'm sure today will mark the beginning of a journey for all the freshmen here, a journey of growth, exploration, and self-discovery. Thank you. Over to you, Sai Karthik.
Thank you for that wonderful speech, Akshaya. It was heartening to hear about the impact the scholarship has had on you. Before we move on into our next segment, we have a small icebreaker activity for our viewers. Since a lot of you here have just entered college, things would have been grueling for the past 2 years, be it school, exam pressure, whatnot. So here's a question that some of you might already have answers to, and one to ponder upon for many. What are some interests you'd like to rediscover that you did not have time for in the last couple of years? Here's how all of you will be answering this. Head to the following link that's in the description that's given as Mentimeter link, or go to menti.com and use the code 3654528 to answer this question. This question is mainly for promising freshmen and shall remain open for a few minutes. For those of you who joined us just now, so we are in the middle of an icebreaker activity. So, since a lot of you here are freshmen, we have a question for you all. So, what is some of the interests that you'd like to rediscover that you'd not have time for in the last couple of years? So, you can find the link to answering this question in the YouTube comments or in our YouTube video description. Do go ahead and put your thoughts. For those of you who are joining us right now, thank you so much for tuning in. So, we've asked people a very simple icebreaker question. So, the question was, what are some of the interests you'd like to rediscover that you did not have time for in the last couple of years? Considering the fact that the past couple of years would have been really stressful, this is something you might want to, ponder about and like pursue while you're in college. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll be closing this poll very very soon. So in case you'd like to answer this question, head to the link that's in the comments or in the description, and we can move ahead. Thank you once again, everyone. Moving ahead, uh, we shall now move on into our keynote address, which shall be delivered by Dr. Anantharaman, Emeritus Professor, HAG, in the Department of Chemical Engineering. He is also the winner of NIT Trichy's prestigious Distinguished Alumni Award. Sir, over to you.
For a very nice and brief introduction. A very good evening to all the members present here. And I'm extremely happy to be a part of this third felicitation ceremony for Jitheshraj Scholarship for Promising Freshmen. This is a unique scholarship. It's unlike the most of the scholarships. This tests the skill of a student right from the first year itself. So as soon as they join the institute, after completing the first semester, I believe this process starts. And this is an interesting scholarship in which the student also has a long span of time during which he can try to come up with some solutions for the problems faced by the community and society at large. Basically, I'm very happy to be associated with this scholarship for a simple reason. This is started by a group of youngsters who did not have any practical experience in organizing a fund collection, how it has to be distributed. And in that respect, I think I need to really acknowledge the role of Shivaranjani, who has taken all the pains to start this scholarship, and not only start the scholarship, but also keep it in motion. That's very important because one can always collect funds. That's not easy. That's not a very tough job. But to set the process in motion, one needs to put in a lot of efforts. I think in that respect, Shivaranjani deserves all the appreciation, and she was ably assisted by an excellent team. And it's purely a team effort for which Shivaranjani is the head. And I really appreciate her. And the moment when she spoke to me last week and invited me, I was extremely happy and agreed to be a part of this program. Now, I know basically this gentleman, young gentleman by name Jitheshraj, when he joined this college, even before joining the college, I knew him as a school student from Trichy. I also know his mother, who is a very senior professor at Anna University. On professional, from professional front, we have a very good collaboration also with her. This boy joined in 2013. Normally, what happens is when the first years join, they are new to the system. They don't generally mix up with all the seniors. But this boy was slightly different in his approach. He was very active even in first year. And I should say it's most unfortunate that he met with a very tragic end. And he was actively involved with so many curricular, co-curricular activities, and something beyond that also he was very much interested. So these students, young students, they joined together and they just wanted these qualities to get distributed among the youngsters, because they felt this boy had something unique in him. Why not this quality spread to others? So that was the motive behind which this entire scholarship was created, and I really appreciate the vision of these youngsters. I'm sure this group is going to do wonders in the days to come. um, See, as an engineer, we expect certain things. It is expected that one has a patience. See, a lot of engineers, they go into different domains. um, Everybody appreciates engineer because of their skill, not only their skill in their domain area, but also their critical thinking and awareness to the problems of the society is another important aspect. So all these things are going to be tested on an individual who is basically in the first year or probably completing the verge of completing the first year. So how best this person is going to be useful to the community as well as the society. So that is the motive with which this entire scholarship goes. And um, to cap it all, the scholarship also carries an amount of rupees 50,000, and this will really give them. And see, they are going to be in the institute during this period when they are coming up with their proposal. They learn about themselves. They undergo certain things in the first year. They find that there are certain inherent problems to the community, and they want to come up with some solution for the community as well as to the society. And in this process, they are going to get a lot of support from our alumni who are placed in different parts of the world. And in addition, they will also get a lot of support from the former awardees. So these are the things which are going to really help them in building up their career. So whether one person gets the award or not, but by going through the entire process itself, the person I would say is as good as the winner, because as things stand, only one person can be a winner. So all cannot be winners, but doesn't mean that others have failed in their attempt. They have also got a lot of things to contribute to the society. So this exercise which they would have done during the selection process is going to help them a lot and see the future. And I'm sure the awardees and all those who have participated in this process are going to be valuable members for the society. And I really congratulate all those who have taken pains in coming up with their proposals. And not only that, I think I need to really acknowledge the support they would have got from their mentors and our alumni in coming up with these proposals. So I once again wish to tell this was an excellent opportunity for all the students. So the remaining 3 years is going to be a wonderful experience for them to implement. Once they get the award, that person has got a lot of time within him or her to execute all those things. So how best the person is going to execute it, the time management, all those things are going to really shape his future to a very great extent. So with these few words, once again, I congratulate the organizers for organizing such a wonderful event and a wonderful process. And I need to appreciate the student community also for coming up with their own proposals for this award. So I wish you all success. Thanks a lot once again for inviting me for this function. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you so much, sir. Those words were really, really thoughtful. and I believe it has inspired everyone to be a part of this community and apply, because the scholarship's all about growth and more takeaways. So this is definitely a good point that you mentioned, sir. And also, on a side note, we're getting some really wonderful answers in our Mentimeter about our icebreaker question, which was, what are some interests you'd like to rediscover that you did not have time for in the last couple of years? Looks like a lot of people want to explore music, which is a really, really good answer. We have a wonderful team. Moving on into our next part of the ceremony. So we have Anaka, who will be JSPF Finalist 2018-19, who will be talking more about the JSPF, that is the Jitheshraj Scholarship for Promising Freshmen, the community, and the scholarship itself. Over to you, Anaka.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Anaga, a finalist for the 2018 to 19 application cycle in my pre final year from the Electronics and Communication Engineering department. I'm sure that by now you'll all have formed some ideas about what the scholarship is all about. Before we get there, let me take a moment to talk about why the scholarship was instituted. As you can conclude from the name, this is to honor Jitheshraj Periasamy, who joined the CSE department at NIT Trichy in 2013. He was a person who aspired to become student president right from his first year in college because he saw it as a platform by which he could address the concerns of students and improve their lives in any way he could. This scholarship seeks to identify and reward the qualities which made him such an impactful person. Moving on to what the scholarship takes, I have a few questions for you. Do you think that the Jitheshraj scholar or the finalists should have the highest grades in their batch? Should they be part of many challenging extracurricular activities? Should they come up with a very complex project idea? Should they have some experience with volunteering for NGOs or the like? Or should they have excellent communication skills? Like the previous icebreaker, head over to the link in the chat to post your answers. Head over to menti.com and use this code to post your answers to this question. And let's see what the most popular notions about the scholarship are. First year students, if you haven't done it yet, do head over to the link and post your answers. It looks like our answers are up. So, before asking this question, I had a conception that a lot of people would say it's going to be high grades, but seeing the answers on the screen, it looks like most people think that volunteering, being a socially responsible person, so to speak, is what will get you to that elusive step to become a finalist. Apart from that, we've got we've got people saying a cool technical project or being involved in clubs is the gateway to it, with so it looks like the votes have come in. And so now that the votes have come in, here's my answer to you about which ones are necessary. So as you can see on the slide, it's none of these. All these things are great achievements indeed. However, they are not mandatory for your application. You can have accomplished any of these, all of these, or even none of these and still be part of our community. So what about those options? You don't need to have an incredible academic performance to be a part of the scholarship. No, we are not encouraging you to not perform well at academics, but we would love to see you explore different things beyond academics. You don't have to be part of multiple clubs or even part of a club for that matter. Every club has different objectives and different ways to explore their passion. All we ask is that you put thought into exploring yours, whether or not it aligns with the club. You don't have to be an overachiever to be a part of the scholarship process. Though you will have to meet the basic requirements to be a part of the application, your zeal for the process is what will carry you through. Last but not the least, it is not necessary for someone to have an excellent or professional vocabulary and grammar skills to apply to the scholarship. The scholarship looks at people who have the drive towards being the best, and we believe that language in no way should be a barrier to talent. So, what do we look for? The cornerstones of the scholarship are growth mindset and promising trajectory. To put it in simpler terms, we don't reward how good you are right now, but how willing you are to learn and improve yourself. We want someone who's willing to challenge themselves. As a first year, once you learn about the requirements for the scholarship, you're likely to think that it's not something you'd have attempted to do by yourself. You think that you're just starting out, that you don't know enough, that projects and technical competitions are for people. Sorry about that. That projects and technical competitions are for people who have more experience, etc. This scholarship is meant to push you out of your comfort zone in that regard by making you try out various things as a way of helping you narrow down on what you're truly interested in. Secondly, we gauge your social responsibility. So for those of you who checked volunteering activities on that box, you're closer to the reality than you think. In your time at NIT Trichy, the Institute has a lot to offer you in terms of learning, prospects, facilities, and great people. What are you willing to give back is the question. The Jitheshraj Scholarship community wants to foster socially conscious thinking in each of its applicants. So we place great value in how you observe problems both in the campus and in the outside world, and whether you can come up with simple yet effective solutions to these. Now that you know what the scholarship is all about, here's Nithin Balaaji, the JSPF scholar for the application cycle 2019 to 20, here to speak about his experiences.
Thank you very much, Anaka, for that wonderful introduction. Respected administration of NIT Trichy, the deans, associate deans, and the faculty, my icon of inspiration, the founder and executive director of the Jitheshraj Scholarship, Ms. Shivaranjani, fellow members of the JSPF community, ladies, gentlemen, and my dear friends, wish you all a very pleasant evening. Today is a wonderful occasion as we have all come here to recognize the efforts of our finalists of the Jitheshraj Scholarship for Promising Freshmen 2019-2020, as well as begin with the application process for the next cycle. Today, I stand here thanks to the blessings and best wishes from my dear well-wishers. They have inspired, guided, and supported me at every step of my life. My speech is a dedication to them, thereby sharing with all of you a wonderful life lesson that I've learned in my humble journey. Hope the message resonates with you and helps you lead a successful life. Here it goes. On 14th of October 2014, I spent the entire day trying to walk with my legs 1 meter apart, struggling like a toddler, learning to take my first step. The land was frozen, frozen the land, frozen the sky, and frozen was I. I was trying my hands and legs in skiing at Ski Dubai at the Dubai Mall. Armed with all the necessary accessories, I entered the arena like a gladiator, ready to tame the roaring, hungry lion. My trainer, the young Chaminda from Sri Lanka, with a triple XL smile, skied in and halted just in front of me. "Hello, bro," he greeted. Impressed by his down-to-earth attitude, I took my first step on the ice to acknowledge his outstretched hand, and the next moment, I too was down to earth, shattered on the ground. "Hey, bro, welcome to skiing." That was just the first one. Chaminda took hold of my hands and got me onto a rail, which elevated us to the top of a hill. On reaching the top of the hill, Chaminda said, "Bala, you see that red flag? That red flag is your finish line. Now, if you reach that red flag without falling even once, you are eligible for the next stage. Now, bend your body a little forward, keep your legs a little apart, and enjoy the experience. Okay?" Wow, so simple. I gave a cool look to the spectators around. That red flag on the icy snow was inviting me like a strawberry on a white forest cake. And the next moment, I was giving a live demonstration to the people of Dubai how not to ski. After the 50th fall, I lost count. I looked straight at the eyes of Chaminda and said, "Brother, I quit. Skiing may be a piece of cake for you, but it has shattered all my bones and my confidence into pieces." Mr. Cool smiled at me and said, "Bala, relax. It's all right. No one has ever got to the top of the Mount Everest in one go. We are not Superman or superstar, so it's alright. I too have fallen thousands of times. Now, don't focus on that red flag. Focus on your next leap. Okay? Now let's get started again. Friends, Shamanda's practical wisdom and inspiring words made me refocus one small baby step at a time, then another, then another, as if each leap was my finishing leap without even caring how far I was from that red flag. After a few more falls and a few more encouraging pats from Chaminda, I finally skied to the finish line. My red flag. I got back my self esteem, self confidence, and a very, very important life lesson that day. Life is a sum of many tiny baby steps. The great basketball champion Michael Jordan always said that our focus should be on our work. The result will follow automatically. Behind every huge success, there are thousands of toiling days and terrible nights to reach to that point of glory. I decided to apply this principle even of getting obsessed over getting a perfect GPA in college. I decided to focus on what I needed to do today, tomorrow, this week, and this month. The result of these baby steps worked wonders. I was able to give 100% to my academics, 100% to my servant leadership role as the deputy secretary in the Students' Council. Friends, life is not a litmus test to decide our destiny in one go. Life is not a product to grab and use up. Life is a sum of many tiny baby steps. Every step is a milestone, and those who hit the milestone will reach the finale. Be it learning a new skill, excelling in your academics, or just losing weight, the fundamentals remain the same. Muster your courage and just stay focused on that first step, then another, then another. And soon you will reach to your ultimate goal, your ultimate destiny, like an added skier down the icy slopes, reaching for your red flag. Thank you very much for being a wonderful audience and all the very best for your new phase of life, college. Stay blessed, stay focused, and most importantly, stay happy. Over to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Wow, there is one talk, Nithin. Like, thank you so much for that marvelous talk, Nithin. I'm sure the audience resonated with almost every point that you mentioned, and the fact that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Moving on, we have one key question that we have not explicitly answered yet. Why should you apply for this scholarship? In case you missed my introduction, I'm Sai Karthik, JSPF finalist 2018-19, here to talk about why you should apply for this scholarship. The program, as Anaka rightly pointed out, is not aimed at picking the students with overachievements, but to pick those who show a promise and a zeal towards being the best in what they do. We do not reward the smartest of the students. For what we know, intelligence is not static and can be developed with effort and self belief. We instead look for what Dr. Carol Dweck described as the growth mindset. Students with a growth mindset embrace challenges, learn from criticism, and most importantly, find inspiration in the success of others. This scholarship offers a one-time cash grant of rupees 50,000 to one scholar. This amount shall be offered alongside various other incentives and perks to all of the Jitheshraj Scholarship for Promising Freshmen, that's the JSPF finalists. One of the things we personally believe in is the power of networking, and this program offers exactly the same. To learn from people who have gone on to attain impeccable heights and to connect with the ones who we believe will go on to attain similar heights as well. The JSPF community is a wide network of people from around the world, which gives the scholarship its global outlook. Our network consists of the NIT Trichy alumni, faculty members, prospective students who want to know more about the scholarship, current students, etc. To extend our reach and maintain ongoing connections, we have several ways to keep our network informed of our latest activities, progress, and goals. This community includes the finalists, panelists, and mentors from almost every possible field one can imagine, from technology to design to public policy. This network aims to familiarize the finalists with the challenges up ahead in the domain that the finalists wish to pursue. Some of the mentors are also winners of globally recognized scholarships. So, this community offers the perfect platform for finalists to gear up and prepare towards the same. We also conduct multiple events internal to the community that aim at making people inside the community better individuals and leaders through the sharing of thoughts and ideas. These include an annual lunch session with the student leaders of the college, an annual and quarterly social event to facilitate formal and informal interactions. This year, we also held our first ever Flash Mentorship event, an annual event where we connected the finalists with multiple mentors, speed dating style. So, to sum it up, the scholarship includes a cash reward of INR 50,000, an opportunity to fraternize with the accomplished alumni of NIT Trichy, guidance and mentorship from former scholarship winners and fellowship awardees, and in house training to prepare and achieve world class graduate level scholarships. So, what does an applicant's journey look like? Well, you apply to be a part of this scholarship through an interest form that you can find on our Getting Started page. The link for the same is available in the description. A few months down the line, there will be a mid year checkpoint where you'll have to submit an essay and complete parts of the checklist. This shall soon be followed by a final submission of the application. The application shortlist is soon done by a panel of judges, and finalists are selected from a pool of candidates. Interviews are conducted for the finalists within a few months after the final submission, and one scholar is selected among the select finalists and shall be announced at the next valediction event. In between the launch of the application interest form and the final submission of the application, there will be 4 mentorship sessions split over different intervals talking about the different aspects of the application. This year, we also have weekly office hours with the mentors themselves, where interested applicants can sign up and get guidance. We will be talking more about the application process, requirements, and what you could be doing at our first step event, which shall be held on the 3rd of January 2021. Do sign up for the event at this event and other upcoming events by putting your name in the interest form, which is a very integral part. You can find the link to the interest form by going to the Getting Started link, which is available in the description and in the comments as well. So to conclude, we at JSPF have been working towards improving and diversifying our pool of applicants. In the last cycle, we created the Diversity and Inclusion, that is the D&I committee, to address these challenges. We now have Siddhant Chandra, an ITT alumnus and part of the JSPF D&I community, who will be talking more about this.
Just a few months back, the months of May and June saw India reeling under something which was very conveniently termed the Indian migrant laborers crisis, alongside the COVID crisis. We could see chilling scenes of millions of migrant workers walking back from the cities they work in to their homes, hundreds of kilometers away. They first walked on the roads, then took the help of railway tracks to find their way, and eventually traveled in the Shramik trains that were started. It was during those months that a significant portion of the Indian bourgeoisie or the Indian middle class realized for the first time, that there were so many millions of migrant laborers who had been living in their cities for years. Now the question is, why such societal apathy, and why am I even talking about it in the first place? Because this is a very recent and a typical example of a problem that arose because of neglecting inclusion as a basic tenet of how we function as individuals, as institutions, as a society, as a nation, etc. We have been unaware of these migrant laborers who build our cities because our cities are designed so that we, the middle class, don't have to live with them. They live on the outskirts of our cities, or maybe in their own colonies, which are very far removed from the societies that we live in. We have been unaware of these workers because we have never met their children as our fellow classmates in our schools and colleges, and that is because our education system by design excludes them. We saw such a drastic migrant laborer crisis during the lockdown because we hadn't thought about them when we were planning on how to fight the pandemic, and that is because we had reduced them to faceless people who come and repair our electrical and plumbing systems, who build our houses and roads, etc. Sadly, we don't acknowledge or respect their existence and importance in our daily lives. Forget about accepting and making space for them in the society and the cities that we live in. Now, that is an example of how a non-inclusive culture affects us at the societal level. But a more pertinent question to ask is, how does that affect us at this individual level? And I will answer that soon. But before that, let us first try and understand what diversity and inclusion is, after all. Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Siddhant Chandra. I am a class of 2016 alumnus and a member of the D&I committee of JSPF, and I'm here to talk about diversity and inclusion, what it means in the NIT Trichy context and in the JSPF context. Diversity is the existence of difference between individuals that comprise an institution or a nation or a society, etc. For example, in the incoming NIT Trichy BTech plus B architecture batch of yours, one would find people from different socioeconomic backgrounds, right? Different languages, different first languages, different states, etc. That is diversity. And NIT Trichy has been home to batches after batches of such diverse student community. And inclusion, in very simple terms, is about acknowledging, accepting, respecting, and making comfortable space for these differences to exist between our individual identities, and letting those differences thrive to eventually build a society that is safe and welcoming towards each one of us. Now let us first talk about diversity and inclusion in the NIT Trichy context. Many of you might have had your education in a non-English medium, right? Many of you might have had your education in Tamil or Telugu or Hindi or any other such regional language. Many of you might have never even written a scholarship or a proper English essay in your life, whilst, on the other hand, some of you might have won English competitions on the other hand. Many of you might have learned some bit of coding in your schools, while some of you might not even have had computers back in your school. That is diversity right there. Now, coming to how inclusive you are or can be, it really depends on how inclusive you want to make it. It is about you to acknowledge these factors which make you different from the others, to respect those differences and nurture a comfortable space for one another where each one of you feels not left out but heard. And now, talking about how we at JSPF try to foster an inclusive culture for the diversity that NIT Trichy is home to, I'll give you a few examples. When you say that you have When some of you say that you have absolutely zero experience with scholarships and fellowships and do not understand how to process, how to go about and start the process of applying for JSPF, we say that's okay, that's perfectly fine. We have a wonderful finalist and mentor community to help you plan your work and answer your doubts as and when they arise during your journey. When you say that your motivation towards working for the scholarship keeps oscillating between highs and lows throughout the year, we say that's okay. We understand. We'll help you by reminding you regularly about your goals and inspiring you through monthly emails and several other such initiatives, and will support you during your low phases. And when some of you say that you feel uncomfortable asking your questions in public, we say that's okay. We will devise a system to help you ask your doubts anonymously if that is what you would prefer. When you say that you're hesitant in talking to your seniors and asking your doubts openly, we say that's okay. We'll provide you with more opportunities to first build a friendly relationship with your seniors and then maybe seek more help from them. When you say that you feel underconfident and alone because nobody from your department has ever been in the finalist or the scholar community over the past few years, we say that's okay. We want you to be the first one from your department and come out of your journey enriched and successful, and we will support you through your journey. When you say that you're not fluent in English and you find it quite difficult to write an application essay in English, we say that's okay, not a problem. We will guide you suitably and help you with it. For example, one of the JSPF application requirements is to complete a massive open online course, which is also known as a MOOC. Now, when some of you come and tell us that you don't know what a MOOC is at all, we say that's okay. We will provide you with all the relevant information that's needed and resolve your doubts as and when they arise. Now, these are all examples which have been collected through our work at the D&I committee. There are many more such examples, and we at JSPF are still constantly striving towards helping each one of you realize your potential through explorations. And we are constantly reviewing our processes and events to make them more inclusive and accessible so that not even one student at Trichy feels left out. To know more about our commitments, I would urge you to read through our accessibility and D&I statements on our website, and I'll show you how. So you can go to our website, which is called jrscholarship.org, and proceed to the second tab, which says Who Are We? Go on to our commitment, and you would see there our accessibility statement and our D&I statement. And I would urge you all to please go through those statements and know about our commitments. And finally, we look forward to your applications at JSPF this year and encourage you to nurture a culture in NIT Trichy where each one of you feels at home, feels respected, and feels heard. Meanwhile, we in the D&I committee will continue striving to fulfill our commitments. Thank you and have a great week ahead.
Thank you for your insights into D&I at JSPF, Siddhant. We all are different from one another, and that's what is common about us all. Diversity sure is the one thing that we all have in common. Your first step towards acknowledging D&I and celebrating it in the JSPF context would be to apply for JSPF. Moving on, next on the agenda is probably the most awaited segment of today's program, the felicitation. But before that, let's meet the finalists. We'll play a series of videos introducing each of the 8 finalists. We asked them what their peak moment during the scholarship application was, and for one written message for the incoming freshmen of the class of 2024, which can be found in quotes on the slide. So let's see what they have to say. First up, we have VK Sivaraj from the Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering.
Hey guys, this is Sivaraj. My favorite part of this JSPF process are the mentorship sessions. During these sessions, I equip myself with a lot of new concepts such as flow, design thinking, which changed my perspective of the world around me. I also liked each and every activities which we performed during these sessions. I used to carry away the warmth that the community offers. Of this, all these things make me my favorite part of the JSPF study.
Next up, we have G. Subhashri from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering.
To complete the application requirements of the Jitheshraj Scholarship, I took part in test of another college. Performing well in one of the on-spot events, which I hadn't planned or prepared for, was unexpected but thrilling experience. Exploring such new arenas has eventually resulted in discovering more about myself, my hidden talents, strengths, and weaknesses.
Moving on to Hemant V. from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering.
Hi all, this is Hemant over here. So my peak moment during the scholarship process was definitely coming up with the For the Society essay. The research that went into making that essay was a really fun and a very valuable learning experience. By the time my draft was ready, I had actually discovered my passion for quantum computing. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank Jitheshraj Scholarship for helping me discover not just my passion but me myself.
Hello everyone, my name is JSPF second year mechanical, and I'm one of the 8 finalists for the Jitheshraj Scholarship. For me, my peak moment during the scholarship process was when we got to do a mentorship session with alumni of our college, and I was able to interact with alumni and share with them my dreams of becoming a footballer one day. And even though it's a little bit unusual for an engineer, they really encouraged. We were able to discuss the practicalities of it, and they really encouraged me to pursue my dreams, however unusual it was. And that gave me a huge boost of confidence, and that in itself, I'm very grateful for. So thanks to JSPF. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Jeremiah. So, what is my peak moment during the process? I don't think I can nail it down to one moment, but I probably think the community that Jitheshraj has to offer is probably what I experienced and enjoyed the best. There's no way that I have completed my application if it had not been for the great community of seniors and my own peers and the mentors that Jitheshraj had to offer. So, yeah, through the interactions with my mentors and with so many other seniors, I realized, okay, what my personality is, what would suit me, and what I could do with the future, how I could impact the world in the way I wanted to. And that helped me. Like, a lot of things got demystified through just these interactions with mentors and seniors. And yeah, the community is competitive, and they've got a good game going, and it's fun. And so, juniors out there, just apply. You're gonna have fun. It's a great community, so just apply away. Cheers.
My favorite part of the entire application process was making the technical project. For my technical project, I had made a Bluetooth control bot. For making the bot, I had to interact with many people and learn a lot from them. So when I was able to finally connect everything and it worked perfectly, that was my peak moment during the entire application process. I hope all the first years also apply and have an equally amazing experience decided with the application.
My favorite moment during the JSPF application process was when I submitted my applications because I had a sense of accomplishment and it was kind of like growing a point to myself. And the journey has been one of self improvement and learning. And I got to learn a lot from the mentors and the previous year finalists too.
Hey guys, I'm Nandakishore, current finalist of Jitheshraj Scholarship. While writing my essays for Jitheshraj, it was my peak moment where I learned various concepts in psychology and I analyzed various features of my own skills. And for contest, I went to Coimbatore, which was a 1 day long single journey, which made me realize the worth of being safe and secure while traveling. And through the competition, I learned a lot about communication and leadership skills. Hope you could do so. Thank you.
So those were our 8 finalists, each one exceptional in their own way. These 8 applications were selected after a lot of scrutiny from the pool of applications that were received last year. All the finalists get networking opportunities with alumni, and together, as a cohort, they will contribute to the growth and development activities. They will also receive certificates of appreciation from JSPF. Without further ado, I now request Dr. Anantharaman to announce the winner.
Thank you. Before making the announcement, I just want to mention one thing about the report. In fact, I went to the website and just went through the report. I have no words to express my feelings. It was a professionally prepared report. That's all I can say. In simple terms, if you want me to tell something about the report, it was a professionally prepared report. That's all. Nothing else. I think that will speak for everything. So why I'm telling this is, this professionalism has to come into the students. So I think we had something like 30 applicants, and of which 8 were chosen for the final stage, and 1 person is going to be awarded. So all the applicants, as I mentioned in my earlier address itself, all cannot be given awards. But the fact that you participated in this program itself is a great thing. I remember only one thing before making this announcement. When we were in first year, in fact, I was an old student of REC, the then REC. We were all in NCC, and every Tuesday and Fridays we used to have NCC sessions. So our NCC officer was one Professor Major Srinivasan, a very, very simple, unassuming person. I have never seen him angry at any point of time. During this thing, one of the sessions, he was just casually interacting with us. We were all in first year, and he simply asked, who are all having the ranks, NCC ranks, like under officer, sergeant, and things like that. And slowly it came down to us. We were all in first year. We said, one of our batchmates said, "Sir, I don't have any rank." Then he said, "You are a cadet. Cadet itself is a rank." So why I'm telling you this is, 30 students applied. They interacted with all their mentors, alumni, and preparing their scheme of action and their report. So that itself is something like winning the award. Okay, you can all of you have got awards. That much I can tell you. But only one person can be an under officer in a group, isn't it? In the NCC. The same way here there is only one person. So I need to really congratulate first of all the students for having participated, made use of this opportunity to build relationship with mentors, alumni, previous awardees, and whatnot. So that's a great exercise for you, and that will carry you throughout your life. Okay. So with these few words, I have great pleasure in announcing the awardee for this year, and it is Jai Kaishav KR from Mechanical Engineering Department. Congratulations, Jai Keshav.
Thank you so much, sir. Like all this adrenaline, I'm not even able to think properly right now. Like it's a huge honor. Yeah, and at this point, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank everyone who was a part of this process for me, and the people who conducted the scholarship, the organizers. There is a finalist, last year's finalist, along with Ms. Sivanji, and my friends, my family, and above all, my parents, for whom like my growth, my health and happiness is more important than anything. Yeah. So now that's done. I would also like to give another shout out to an akka called Divya Harni in CSG, because she was very instrumental for me to finish my finish all the criteria for me for the scholarship process. And with that done, yeah. So thanks everyone. Thanks for attending. And one message I'd like to leave to all of you is that you should have a purpose in life, and that is my philosophy. You should have one purpose in life, and everything you do should be aligned with that. And that is something that I always, that's how I've been from my first year. And take this opportunity to explore what do we have, because all of us are noobs in college. Basically, we just here, and yeah. And I see the scholarship not as to select one person to give a scholar. It's basically about selecting people with a growth mindset, a bunch of 8 people who are willing to strive towards good for society, and that can be done only if you have a proper purpose and you question your existing traditions, and not accept everything as it is. And I haven't prepared a speech, so it's just really random, and I hope I was able to get my message across to you clearly. And yeah, thanks for attending. This means a lot to me.
Congratulations, Jai Keshav. Jai Keshav will receive a cash award worth 50,000 INR, along with an opportunity to fraternize with our esteemed alumni with personal mentorship and guidance. We would also like to present the scholar with a beautiful 3D printed miniature of NIT's clock tower, generously sponsored by ETLET, a venture by Mr. Srinivas Padmaputra, an alumnus from the class of 2016.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. I now invite the guest of honor, Dr. Raman Shankara Narayanan, a professor at Metallurgical and Materials Engineering Department and Dean, Institute Development and Alumni Relation, to take over.
Good. Hello.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get Dr. Raman Shankaranarayanan to join the stream presently, so we'll move on to the next event on the agenda. For that, I now request Ms. Shivaranjani Subramanian, founder and executive director of JSPF, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Akshaya. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Margaret Mead. Respected dignitaries, alumni from across the world, friends and family of Jitheshraj Perisamy, patrons, well-wishers, and our beloved students, a very good evening to one and all. I am Shivaranjani, an NIT Trichy alumnus of the class of 2015. I am also the founder and current executive director of the Jitheshraj Scholarship for Promising Freshmen at NIT Trichy. And it is an honor to be able to express my sincerest gratitude to everyone who has made the scholarship what it is today. Be warned, this is not going to be a short speech, simply because it has indeed taken a village to bring JSPF to fruition. About 3 years ago, the movement that is JSPF was an idea, a germ, a seedling. A group of our friends and I wanted to honor our extraordinary friend Jitheshraj Perisamy. Jithesh's untimely demise in 2015 had left an incomparable void in our lives. We missed his spirit, his drive for change, his tenacity in the face of adversity, and more importantly, his kindness that guided him wherever he went. While we continue to mourn our loss and miss his presence even today, we wanted his legacy to expand beyond us and our stories. We wanted his spirit to endure and the qualities he brought to the world to be nurtured in many, many more young students like him. And thus was born the Jitheshraj Scholarship. One of the qualities that stood out for anyone who knew Jitesh at NIT Trichy was how ambitious he was right from the get-go. It did not matter to him that he was still in his first year. No one told him that it was too early to be wanting to make a difference at NIT Trichy, to improve things for everyone on campus. Or maybe they did, and he didn't listen. He knew what he wanted, was willing to learn along the way, made mistakes, dealt with them with honesty and grace, greeted people with a smile, and treated everyone with respect. And these attributes became the cornerstones for the Jitheshraj Scholarship. 2 years after Jitesh passed, in late 2016, 4 of us friends put pen to paper to come up with the scholarship. We wanted it to not just be an incentive, but an experience. The scholarship was going to be as ambitious as Jitesh was. We wanted students to be able to grow, be themselves, and be celebrated for being themselves in the process. We wanted students to be able to discover who they are and who they wanted to be, and we were going to help them do it. And now, after 3 successful editions, 3,000 first-year students, 23 finalists, 12 mentors, 25 panelists, 4 volunteers, 50+ donors, and innumerable generous folks who have given their time, thought, and toil behind the scenes later, here we are, amidst a thriving community that embody Jitesh's best qualities. Getting here was not an easy task. It has taken a lot of patience, effort, and help. It has taken emailing hundreds of people every year, raising funds however small they might be, and building relationships on the perennial bond that is NIT Trichy. It has taken the sleepless dedication of our selfless volunteers, the creativity and intentions of our advisors, the support and trust of our mentors, and the parental guidance from Mr. Perisamy and Dr. Rukmini, Jitesh's parents. The journey ahead is not going to be an easy one either. but with the extraordinary community of students, alumni, and faculty members who have been our friends, well-wishers, and support system. And you, the freshers entering NIT Trichy, with your open minds and bold ideas. It is a journey we are not only ready for, but looking forward to. 2020 has been an unconventional year, to say the least. Many have lost livelihood and loved ones. Many have had to endure inordinate physical and mental strain. But as the year comes to an end, here we are, grateful for what we have survived and looking ahead with hopes and dreams. And this has been made possible by the people who stuck with us through it, those who we are grateful for. Our sincere thanks to the NIT Trichy administration with our director, Dr. Minishaji Thomas, at the helm. We are grateful for all the support you have rendered us over the year, without which we would not be here today. Thank you. Our utmost gratitude to the Office of Institutional Development and Alumni Relations under the leadership of Dean Dr. Raman and Associate Deans Dr. Nisha and Dr. Illarasi. We benefit a lot from their wisdom and inputs, helping us put our best foot forward in the NIT Trichy alumni community. Thank you. Our eternal gratitude to our keynote speaker for the day, Dr. Anantharaman sir. He has been with us since the inception of the scholarship and has watched us grow through the years, willing to help us at the drop of a hat with no hesitations, demands, or second thoughts. We thank you for everything you have done for us, and we hope to make you proud, starting with the changing of the name of the scholarship to something gender neutral. Our wholehearted thanks to our faculty panelists, Dr. Venkatakritika of EEE Department, Professor Gururaj and Dr. Satiraj of Humanities Department, Dr. Bhaktavasalam of Training and Placement, Dr. M.C. Santosh Kumar of Physics Department, and Dr. Jerome, the former Associate Dean of Student Welfare. You have gone above and beyond your roles, helping us whenever we needed over these years. We cherish your support and hope to have it even in the days to come. Thank you. We thank the Office of Student Welfare and the entire orientation team, with special mention to Mr. Kamlesh and Mr. Arun Kumar. They have been gracious to our request and have catered to our queries, and to do all that during uncertain times like these is a remarkable feat. We owe the success of today's event to you. Thank you. We have a special place in our hearts for Mrs. Vani and the entire Recal community, who have trusted us and helped us unconditionally at various occasions and continue to be our greatest champions across the years. A community truly for students, by students. Thank you. We are grateful to the extraordinary members of the Jitheshraj community worldwide. Alumni, volunteers, and students who build and support the system as organizers, mentors, panelists, finalists, and applicants. They have been torchbearers of change and ambassadors of our values. They have chipped in on everything from scrutinizing the application process to helping students to reviewing my talk today. To me and to the world, you are JSPF. We are blessed to have the support of friends and family of Jitheshraj. They have been an unwavering source of encouragement and have been our biggest advocates, be it in fundraising efforts or in motivating our students to aim higher. Thank you for everything you have done. My highest praise and respect for the student organizers of today's event, Ms. Akshaya Subramanian, Mr. Sai Karthik, Mr. Nithin Balaaji, Ms. Anaga Sethuraman, Mr. Madhav Agrawal, Ms. Shweta, Mr. Darshan, and Ms. Himanshi Gupta. They have managed to plan an event amidst their semester exams and pull off what is our most successful valediction yet. Congratulations and thank you. Saving the best for last, thank you, incoming class of first-year students at NIT Trichy. We are thrilled to have you join us today and certainly hope to get to know you better in the next 9 months. And it all starts when you fill out the interest form on the Jitheshraj Scholarship website. We urge you to fill them by Christmas Day so that we can proceed to get you started on the application process. For those who tuned in today from across the world and across time zones, thank you so much for your support. If you wish to donate your money or time to the scholarship, please visit www.jrscholarship.org for details. We are still a young organization and would be most grateful for your help in whatever shape or form it might be. Thank you everyone for making 2019-2020 yet another successful edition of the Jitheshraj Scholarship for Promising Freshmen. We are excited to embark on the journey that is 2020-2021 application cycle with you. Thank you. Over to you, Akshaya.
Thank you for your amazing words, ma'am. I now request the guest of honor, Dr. Raman Shankaranarayanan, a professor at the Metallurgical and Materials Engineering Department and Dean, Institute Development and Alumni Relations, to take over. It's a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Thank you, Akshaya. My humble thanks to the organizers for giving us an opportunity to interact in this forum. Jitheshraj had been a great student in this great institution, and during his short spell of residence on campus, he had motivated so many, and his memories are being carried over into the present and into the future. It's really nice of his batchmates, seniors and juniors to set up a scholarship and run this activity in the honorable memory of Jitheshraj. It's really nice to hear about the handholding that is taking place, the mentoring that is taking place as part of the scholarship initiative. Let me tell all the participants who had taken an active part in the scholarship from the 1920 batch of admission. This place, NIT Trichy, is a happening place. Your stay, your tenure in campus really opens your eyes and ears about opportunities the world over. And this connect, namely the Jitheshraj Scholarship, has been one of the effective connects, creating an awareness amongst the student community. It's really nice that 30 of you had taken an active part. And every competition, some shortlisting has to be done, and a very small number of participants can be rewarded at the end. But the journey itself would have been highly rewarding. You would have learned so many things. So I take this opportunity to congratulate each and every student who participated, and especially those who made it to the finals. You would have picked up a lot of skills, refined your skills. You might have absorbed new abilities, learned a lot of things. All this is part of the exciting learning that happens in a community like NIT Trichy. And as Professor Anantharaman mentioned, all of you deserve a great congratulations. The winner is to be greeted in particular, but all of you have really earned the honors of going through this journey. This has been a very, very wonderful motivational effort being made by the student community, the alumni, and in particular, friends and family of Jitheshraj. And I thank the organizers for their initiative. I thank the students for their enthusiastic participation. And I thank the alumni for their unwavering support to this initiative. So from the institute side, especially from the team of alumni relations, I join Dr. Nisha in greeting and thanking each and every one of you. And it's really nice that you all were able to listen to Professor Anantharaman, one of the great teachers on campus, and also one of the distinguished winners of the Distinguished Alumni Award this year during 2020. So this event, in a way, recognizes two different categories of winners. So that's really nice. I thank the organizers, in particular Sivaranjani, for the enormous efforts, and I wish to record my sincere thanks to the recall team and to the institute as represented by the director. Thank you all the best, and wish you all a very, very happy new year. Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful words, sir. We've now come to the end of the valediction program. We'll now move on to the launch of the 2020-2021 application cycle. If you would like to see yourself on the stage next year, get started right away by filling out the interest form before the 25th of December. Once you do that, you'll receive important updates as well as other resources via your registered email. In case of lingering questions, you can post them on the chat window. We will document the answers and put it up on our social media page soon. We also have a dedicated Facebook group for applicants for you to post your queries and doubts. You can follow our handles on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn for updates on events and mentorship sessions. The first event for the year is First Step, a fun networking session scheduled for the 3rd of January. At First Step, you'll get a chance to speak and network with finalists from the last 3 years, and it also doubles up as an opportunity for you to get to know your peers better. More updates on the event will be posted as the date approaches, so make sure you stay connected with our social media handles. And with that, we come to the end of the event, and we can't wait to meet you all at First Step. Thank you. Thank you all for your presence.